What's up, YouTube? It's Jamar from Vegas Scents. Got a brand new video today on a MFK fragrance. That fragrance goes by the name of Amyris Homme. So just before I get started on the video, if this is your first time watching my channel, please go ahead and like the video, leave a comment, also subscribe to the channel as well. I'm trying to build my subscribers up to at least that 1,000 mark. That 1,000 subscriber mark. Also, please definitely share this video if you find this information helpful. All right. So just to get straight into the video here with the MFK Amyris Homme, as you can see, man, the bottle, it looks like every other MFK fragrance. I really love the way that these bottles look. Even though they have like a really sort of simplistic type of look, they still look like, like luxury products, luxury fragrances. They have like a real elegance to them as well. You see here, they have like the metal cap. And the sprayer on this is, I would say, okay. It does have decent distribution, but I would say it's an okay sprayer. Now, in terms of what this fragrance smells like, when you first spray this fragrance on, the main thing that you get is like this really nice mandarin orange note. Yeah, you get like a really nice blast of mandarin. Now, at least to my nose anyway, you do get a little bit of alcohol actually within this particular fragrance from what I can smell anyway. So this isn't necessarily the best fragrance to just go right in, as soon as you spray it. The alcohol does subside within seconds though, so it's not something that sort of lingers around, but that's just the main thing that I'm noticing with this particular fragrance. Now, again, you get this really nice mandarin orange note that sort of sticks around at least for the first few minutes of the fragrance, and then it starts to fade. It is something that sort of lingers around for a little bit, but it really fades, I would say, after a few minutes. And then after a few minutes, that's when you get really a lot of the other notes within this particular fragrance, none of which that, you can really sort of pinpoint each one, but they sort of blend together and make like this really refreshing, fresh, clean, sweet sort of scent. All right. And while this particular scent is definitely, I would say, more of like a casual sort of easygoing type of scent, I still think at the same time that this still has sort of like a seriousness to it, to where you could still probably wear this as like a formal scent or wear it to work. It's a really versatile, inoffensive type of scent because it does have a bunch of different facets to it. At the same time, it's still, I would say, a pretty simplistic type of scent. And I think that's a lot of the criticism that this scent gets is, for the price point that this one is sitting at, which is, $200+. It does have sort of like this mass appealing kind of designer-ish type of, scent profile. But at the same time, you can still definitely smell the quality in this particular fragrance. All right. So it's not something that smells cheap or like it's super overpriced. You do smell the quality in this fragrance, but at the same time, for what it does, I could see how, maybe some, hardcore, like, frag heads will probably look at this as like a super basic type of scent. Because in some ways, it actually is. I can't really lie about that. Now, I think it all comes down to your personal preference and, what you like. The main thing, like I said, that I get from this is it has like a fresh and clean sort of aspect to it. But at the same time, it has like a really nice sweetness to it as well. And those two mixed together, I really enjoy. So I don't really mind paying that much for this particular fragrance, especially with the way that this seems to be blended. It definitely seems to be pretty top notch. Now, in terms of the performance is also another criticism of this particular fragrance. Now, I think that it more so sort of depends on when you choose to wear this fragrance that will determine how well, this fragrance actually performs on you. From what I've seen, if you wear this particular fragrance in like the winter months or fall, this fragrance doesn't really perform that well. It doesn't really project at all on me like in the winter months. The longevity is still decent, especially if you spray it on clothes. With this being an eau de toilette concentration, this actually has pretty decent longevity on me. Now, I do know that they also have an X-straight version of this particular fragrance as well. And I haven't smelled that fragrance, so I don't know what the differences are in smell or in performance. But at least this eau de toilette version on me, it has pretty decent longevity. Now, the projection on it is not really that great. I would say at least for about the first hour and a half or so, it's a little bit less than like a arm's length of projection on it. And then after that, I would say that's probably halved, in terms of the length of projection. So like less than like a half an arm's length or so. But even though it doesn't really have like that super beast mode projection, this does, at least to me, linger. All right. So the longevity on it is pretty good. Typically, when I wear this fragrance, a lot of the times I'll wear this fragrance like fresh out of the shower. And a lot of times it's, the shower that I'll take like at night, like right before bed or whatnot. And typically, when I spray this on, I'm able to smell this through the next day, especially if I spray it on my clothes. So any fragrance that I can get at least that out of, where if I spray it on my clothes, it lasts to the next day, that's good in my book. In terms of skin, the longevity, at least on the skin, I would say is like around 6 to 7 hours or so. So, I mean, again, for eau de toilette concentration fragrance, it's not super bad. I've had fragrances that cost more than this that are higher, concentration that don't even last that long, i.e. Creta Ventus. So, in that case, I mean, this really isn't too bad of a deal, I would say, for what it does, how it performs, the way that it smells. This is a really solid fragrance, and I think it's a really underrated and slept on, fragrance from the MFK line. Now, obviously, MFK, the more popular fragrances from them are like the Baccarat Rouge, Aqua Universalis, Grand Soir, like those types of fragrances. This one, it does sort of give off like that designer type fragrance vibe. So I think, possibly if this was like a fragrance that was from Chanel that cost like $150, I think it would be a lot more popular. But I think that the fact that this fragrance is like $200+ and it's from MFK, I think that's part of why it kind of gets looked over, because of that. So in terms of would I rate this particular fragrance, at least for me, man, I'll rate this fragrance a solid 8 out of 10. I really love the smell of this fragrance. Even though the projection on it isn't super beastly, I don't think it's really meant to be. And I'm okay with that. Also, again, as long as you spray this on clothes, the longevity on this is pretty decent. You won't get like this super beast mode, scent cloud on you, even if you spray it on clothes, 12 hours later, but it will still be there. You'll still be able to get wafts of it when you move around, when your body heats up, it'll still be there. All right. So let me know if you smelled this particular fragrance. Let me know what you think of it if you have. Again, this is definitely a fragrance that, even though I've had this for 2.5 years and have only used about this much of it, it is actually still, I would say, one of my favorite smelling fragrances that I have in my collection. All right. So I can't lie about that. I definitely, this is a fragrance that I probably could have sold a while ago, just because I chose to wear it really in the wrong sort of seasons and situations. But I didn't, because I really, really enjoy the way that this smells. I really do. All right. So again, leave a like, drop a comment, subscribe if you're not. And also, please share this video as well. That's Jamar from Vegas Sense. I'll see you on the next video.